Committee of the Whole meeting to order, January 2022, or January 22nd. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq. Record of attendance, we have a few people out today, or one person out. Could we have a,
Cleveland from the meeting.
thank you. Could I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Lesser. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Any declaration of conflicts of interest, we can do so at the time. We do have, on the recommended agenda, we do have one thing on there to defer the council remuneration report to February Committee of the Whole. And second it. Any discussion on that one? We'll table that and bring that up in a month's time. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Okay. And can we have approval of agenda with that amendment? So
I'll
moved.
approve it
Second
or
it?
second it.
Yep. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. We don't have any presentations today. Will you be doing Jeff's report, or we'll just say it's been submitted, or?
Yeah, I would suggest you defer that to the next meeting.
Okay. CAO reports there and strategic priorities for everyone to take a look at. Jeff is not feeling well and not here today, so any questions you can email him or contact him later. No fire report, I don't believe either. And do we have Chad here today? Any questions for Chad for operational services report or transit? Councillor Dares?
It's not a question, just a comment that it's encouraging to see that the ridership on the transit system is still improving over the last year. So it's, yeah, over last month, I mean. So it's great. That's great news.
And I've been out to a few of the new 100 Meals, the community cook-ups, and you can tell when the transit goes by, so it's nice that that's able to make sure our citizens can get there if they so need. Councillor Lesser?
Just kudos to our staff for cleanup of roads and sidewalks. I think many of us are out walking the streets and sidewalks, and I've only fell once since January 1st, and that was completely on me. But in town, it's amazing how fast they've gotten out. But I think it's important that the public realizes that people can't get out and plow as the snow's coming down. We need to, you know, a lot of times they put the salt down ahead of time to plan for that. But the plows are certainly out, and the sidewalks are being cleaned. And just a thank you for staff for doing that.
Thank you. Any other questions for Chad or comments? Hearing none, we'll move on from that. Up next, Planning and Economic Development Report. Natalie's here. Any questions for Natalie? Good job. Hearing none, we'll move on from that. Mr. Mario here. No, he isn't. Any questions on engineering? Can forward those to DeMario. Finance report. Jerry's in the big chair tonight, so any questions, he can put his own mic, and there you go. Ask away. Councillor Lesser?
Not a question necessarily for Jerry, but I'm not sure who it should go to. I had a question last night from a resident. Actually, it was a resident of the municipality, not the town, but I think it still pertains to the town, around assessments that are coming out, house assessments, and people are seeing large jumps in those. And I'm just wondering if it's possible to get kind of a write-up as to the procedure. I know you can appeal those, but I wasn't actually even sure what direction to point this person to appeal. I guess part of the concern was, like, what standards are they using to decide on, and I'm not sure if anybody here can answer this, but what standards are they using to decide on the value of a house, you know, sometimes doubling once it's sold? I know in my personal apartment that I bought, the value went up, but I was expecting that. But in this case, this person's value went up quite considerably, and they just wanted to know where they could find documentation on how they decide that and what factors are used, and how to appeal it. So I don't know if I can just put that out there if anybody does have an answer to it.
Sure, I mean, if they have their assessment from PVSC would be on there, maybe it's on the back, the whole process on how to appeal. If it's been sold, obviously it's a new owner, and the assessment is based on market, so I would have to think it would be no more than what they paid, because they would be the new market price for the building. Most people often look at their assessment and see the market value, but they got to realize if you've been there for more than a year, that it's the taxable assessment is what you're taxed on. So again, our assessments for the town are up, but the vast majority of people are capped at 2.6% for the current year. But they can,
Can
again,
I don't know if you can see me.
Yep, go ahead, Mayor Mood. Or if you're done, Councillor Lesser. Finish up, go ahead.
I guess the last point of that as well is the town doesn't make those decisions, which is important. I think that was part of the miscommunication last night is that the municipalities that are communities that are making these decisions, and it's not.
No.
So it's important for people to realize that we're not arbitrarily just raising people's assessments to bring in more tax dollars.
Thank you, Mayor Mood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with Councillor Lesser. It's not, the information needs to get out there that it is not the town that does this. So perhaps our communications person, I'm glad to make a motion that our communications puts out a post advising on the process of this discussion. However we want to put that, and within it to make sure Councillor Lesser's point around, this is not a town decision. We have no control over this. These are the steps you take, and get that information out there just in short point form, but to reiterate that it's now not up to us to identify the value of a property. Does that help, Councillor Lesser?
Yep. And he seconded that. Any discussion on the
Yeah.
motion?
I can talk to Mike between Jerry and I just to see, what we want to put in there.
Yep,
I'm good.
thank you.
Thank you.
This motion on the floor and seconded. Any other discussion on that? Are we clear on the motion? All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you. Yarmouth Rec Report, Frank Grant. Frank's here. Any questions for Frank? Comments? Anything? We had a great meeting the other night. Still working on some stuff, and our new report's out, and hopefully integrating that in with everything we do. So moving forward. Thank you, Frank. Okay, 9A, 42 Argyle Street appeal hearing. I believe we have somebody online. I'm not sure the structure and how this goes. Would staff speak first, or the appellant, or
Yeah, so,
want your mic, Craig?
Join us.
yeah, sorry, I think it would be appropriate. Sorry, yeah, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the staff should give an outline of the property, the decision that was made, and then give the property owner the opportunity to make any comments, submissions, whatever he would like.
Okay. Glenn, would you like to come give us a timeline?
Okay. We've been dealing with this since 2022. Started in December with the previous owner, leaking roof, broken windows, sidings gone. So we got an engineer to do an assessment, and then, that was in February. June the 12th, the current owner bought the place. September the 20th of '24, we sent to the owners asking when they're coming to install the siding. And they said they'd be here on October 10th of 2025. 2024. On November 5th, we sent an email asking when their next trip would be to Yarmouth. And they said it would be mid-December. So we didn't hear nothing. April 10th, we issued an order to fix the siding which had blown off through the winter and to fix the broken windows. April 29th, 25, the owners emailed saying their supplies hadn't arrived until Thursday and stated the siding had been fixed and the second tower was started. May the 6th, we emailed again asking for drawings to fix the posts on the interior. They had reached out to Delmar and couldn't meet with him until the end of May. So on May 9th, I asked for the structural drawings for the repairs, and the owners responded again that they would be there as soon as the lift was available. June 27th, the owner emailed the building official to advise that a lift would be there on July the 7th to complete the second tower and install the ice shields on the roof. September 29th of 25, we had structural drawings was finally issued about the posts, and they were hoping to be here in November. On October 9th, I issued an order to fix the posts and advised them they advised me they wouldn't be here until December of 2025. December 1st, the owners came into the office on 2025 and with an application to fix the posts. We never got no inspections on them, and they left again. So on January 6th of this year, we requested by email to get in to see what they had done with the post and asked that they fix the siding that was loose. The owner replied that they would. The siding blew off again on the new second tower. They said they wouldn't be back till February, March, weather permitting. So then I issued the order. It's in process now.
And that's where we are now. So we give the owners a chance to...
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So thank you for joining us today, the owners of the property. If you'd like to speak to any of that or provide us with any information about where you're at or what it is you think on things or any dispute anything that was just said, if you could let us know. Please go ahead.
I just feel when we bought the property, we gave it a 5-year plan because of the travel, for us to be able to get there. We do run a business here, and it all depended on our business here, whether we can get over there. The posts, we started them. We had 2 new posts put up. I finished that 7 o'clock at night on a Thursday. I had a flight out back to Ontario Friday morning. So there was no way to be able to contact anybody about what posts we had repaired. Now we do plan on finishing this. I don't think it's fair to have a building that was left in such disrepair by the city, by other people that had purchased it. We have made so much, we put a lot of money into that, and we've made a lot of improvements to it. As a matter of fact, I just got a tax bill that went up $20,000 because of improvements. I don't know, our timelines can't meet your timelines, and we discussed this at a meeting we were, last December? When was that meeting, that town hall meeting?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, we risked our lives to drive there, to get there.
It's true.
I have a hard time with the weather, because twice I ran over a bear in the middle of the night getting there. Also, we left the road a couple of times because the weather is so bad up in Quebec. We even flew out there, and still, when I had to leave that Thursday night, I had a flight at 10 o'clock. It took me 5 hours to get to Halifax from Yarmouth. So it's very difficult for us to try to plan around this. So the whole plan now is we originally wanted to put a restaurant there. Now we're just going to repair it enough for us to actually have it for a summer vacation home. Is what the plan is. But we've already put $400,000 into that place after purchasing it. We expect to put probably about another 3 or 4 to get it to living conditions. And also, we can't work in that building through the winter because there's no furnace. The furnace has been taken out. So we do have a lot of obstacles. Every time that we've been there, like we didn't get hydro for 2 years. Every time we book a lift, it's never there. And then we have to wait another week. It took us a month to do the roof itself because of the lifts and the obstacles in getting around it. So this here order to tear down something that we've actually started on improvements is ridiculous to me. And I don't think it's fair that we put that much money into your city or your town, and then you're just telling us to rip it down. And how much is that going to cost? Does everybody understand where I'm coming from? So what we would like is just more time to be able to get there and do these repairs. These repairs are huge amounts of money, and we work every day and we save enough to do some of the work, and then we have to save again. We have to keep working. So if our timelines can't meet, it is being done. So just give us more time.
Okay. Anyone? Any discussion or comments? So I guess I'll speak. For me personally, well, first of all, thank you for choosing Yarmouth to invest in. But at the end of the day, if you had a building in your neighborhood that was a safety issue, and that's the biggest concern for us. Siding blows off when it's windy. I've had many citizens talk about coming down the hill, swerving around things that either blew off or recently, as a couple weeks ago, a couple big pieces grew across the street. Just really worried about structure, and safety is the big thing. It's not about rushing anybody. It doesn't seem safe, and that seems to be the biggest concern. Timelines have been set, timelines haven't always been met. When they have been, some of the construction that took place hasn't been tip-top, obviously, especially when it comes to the siding blowing off, which seems to be a huge concern for everyone around that area. And regardless of intent, at the end of the day, it is a safety issue for our citizens, and that seems to be the biggest concern that we all hear. And that's why we're here representing this. And we were hoping, obviously, that it could have been fixed up, but at the end of the day, it continues to be a safety issue for anyone that goes by there. Anytime it blows over 15 kilometers an hour, it seems like it's a danger zone. There's a bus stop close to there. A lot of kids walk by there, just the neighborhood in general. So for me, it's time. We need to do something. Once again, we appreciate your efforts, but we can't continue to go down this road of we'll see, and moving the goalposts. Something really needs to be done there before someone gets hurt, and then we're having a totally different discussion then. So it's nothing personal to me against anyone who wants to invest here. We certainly appreciate that, but at the end of the day, the safety of our citizens is at the forefront. Councillor Dares?
Thank you. In my opinion, this meets both the criteria for dangerous and unsightly. And it's been a problem in that neighborhood for, I don't even know how many years now. It's certainly longer than I've been at this table. I'm looking at correspondence from the building inspector that says that there was an engineered report dated almost 3 years ago, we're about 3 weeks shy of 3 years, stating that the posts should be fixed. These are support posts that were rotten and need to be replaced. And stamped drawings were provided. Do we have any evidence, other than anecdotal, because I don't think our inspectors have indicated that there's been work done there. I'm just wondering if there's any evidence other than anecdotal that those support posts have been replaced. It's almost 3 years.
Glenn, could you speak to that? Mike, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, we have never had any visits, inspections. We've requested them and we've never got them, so we have no idea what it's like inside.
Well, I definitely would
good
have
here,
given you an
too.
inspection.
Excuse me, could you repeat that?
I'm sorry?
Could you repeat that?
Am I allowed to speak?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. I definitely would have given them an inspection on what we have done so far, but like I said, your office was already closed by the time I had finished the second post, and then I had to get back to Ontario. We have major projects coming up. Now, I definitely understand where you're coming from with the safety aspect, because that's what we do for a living. We're a safety company. These two posts that I just replaced, the posts aren't rotten. It's the beams underneath that are actually very, very soft. So picking up and putting a new beam in or a new post in isn't a problem. We were able to do two. We just need more time to be able to do the other ones. That's all. It's pretty straightforward. We wanted to actually work on that, the structure last year, but we were ordered to work outside instead. We had to do siding, we had to do windows. I had already started underneath and explained that I would like to do that, but yeah, we were already ordered under different orders to do other things. So we're just asking for a bit more time. And I did bring a professional cider, and obviously he dropped the ball on the siding at the door. He didn't realize how strong the wind was, and it actually got up underneath. I'm going to reinforce all of that with all new plywood to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And I'm going to bring another siding company with me other than the gentleman I had last time. So we do have enough money saved up again where we're going to actually start repairing that floor. I don't know what else to say. We don't want to tear this place down. We've got too much money invested in it, like way too much money invested. And yeah, now that we're not using it as a restaurant anymore, we want it as a personal dwelling.
Thank you. Councillor Lesser, and then Mayor Mood.
I guess from my point of view, I've dealt with our town's bylaw enforcement officer on two different issues. Was given, like, we're not exempt. We're very consistent in the work we do. As a councillor, I was also issued stop work orders, and I took those upon myself to fix them because an order is very important to make sure we meet the deadline. And they're very reasonable to contact. I've actually emailed. I was actually last summer in Bangor, Maine, and contacted. I had a message from Mr. Muse, and contacted him back about an apartment building I have and some work being done. And he was very accommodating. And I think if, like in my cases, I don't think they weren't real safety issues until he brought them up. Like rebuilding a deck, I thought you could just rebuild a deck. I didn't realize the work that was needed to be done, and that's my problem. But when he explained it to me, it makes sense that the structure needs to be there. If somebody's walking on my deck and they fall through, that's a huge part. As far as working inside and it being cold without a furnace, I think one of my first investments would be a furnace or some kind of a heating system to make sure that we could get the work done. But my biggest concern really is the safety, I think, like everybody else. And, it's reading through the report, it seems like time after time that things have been ordered. The timelines just aren't being met. And I understand there's a distance, but the timelines, for somebody getting hit by a piece of that, if that happens, the timelines aren't going to matter. So, I guess, not meeting those timelines makes it very difficult for us to do anything but.
Mayor Mood?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't want to repeat everything everyone said, but I'll just share some things that have been on my mind as well, and as well as some things that I've learned from today. The first thing I want to do is thank our building inspector. He's got a busy job. Mr. Muse is everywhere, and going back to places repeatedly to make sure, not to bother people, but to make sure that it's safe and things are up to regulations. And he's done a tremendous job thus far. He's there to protect us, to protect the town, the citizens, everybody. So I guess I was a little bit, I keep up with this, but a little bit surprised about the inspections, and I can be corrected again if I've misheard, because I'm out of town and it's in and out. But if there is I understand we close at a certain time, but if you have a plane to catch, you can certainly call the day before, leave a message, any of those things. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us, to have that inspection for when you actually land. So whatever happens from here, that's very important. We have a hard time with the weather as well, and I say that respectfully. I would not want to have to drive through Quebec, that's for sure. I just left Toronto this weekend, and it was miserable, but we have a hard time with the weather because of the wind. And again, at the risk of repeating what's been said, we have, not just one street full of people, but an entire community and area around there of folks that have lived there for a long time. And, the calls come in on a regular basis. They're afraid. They're telling their families, please don't go by the church, when you go to work. That one breaks my heart when I hear that, you can't go down the street that you regularly went down because of fear of siding falling off. I mean, it's off the doors, it's off way up top. I'm interested from Glenn in knowing, from Mr. Muse, our inspector, in knowing about, because I don't know this answer, the ice, I don't even know what you call them, but are they up to the right standards? I'll let Mr. Muse have a second to get to the microphone. But the wind is blowing everything off. I think it's like that in any community. This is Nova Scotia. I'm not sure about regulations being followed, those types of things. I know that we've had previous issues in town where folks thought work could be done, and Mr. Lesser or Councillor Lesser will understand this one, because it's again, we learn along the way, but where, folks thought that they could do certain things and they can't. Streets have to be blocked off for safety. I'm not sure that happened, with the lift and, all the precautions that were supposed to happen, traffic control, those types of things. So is Mr. Muse at the microphone by chance?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Okay, Glenn, sorry to put you on the spot again, but there was some concern, I know, because I did have calls from some citizens about the roof and what do you call the ice?
Ice shield, ice dogs.
That's it. Thank you. I don't pretend to be a developer, but are they up to standard?
Yes. The ones he put on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, All right, so we've double checked that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I understood that maybe there was an issue there. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say, except it's unsightly. It is unsightly on that corner, but safety certainly trumps the unsightly. And again, you know, like we do everything we can in our power for as long as we can. But as other folks have said, the timelines are getting on, and I know the team was trying to make sure that those timelines were followed, not for timelines, but for safety reasons. So that's the biggest issue there, that it's just not followed, and we have no idea how long this will go on. And I'm not sure. I guess I can't understand a pro sider, somebody that does professional siding, not being able to get it right so that it would stay on. That doesn't mean everything's perfect, but it's just blowing off in different places from high and from low. And when the neighbors call and say it landed in my yard, it's some scary stuff. So that's where I am right now. There were a couple other things, but I can't put my finger on. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Can I say something?
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you. So Glenn Muse has been wonderful to work with. I'm not complaining about anything that he's doing. He's actually been great. We've worked together very well. It's just a matter of my being able to do things. And like I said, I've started on these. We expect to have them done relatively soon as I can get out there. I'm bringing a few carpenters with me as well to make sure that they're done right. After looking underneath myself and my carpenter, they're seriously not in that bad a shape at all. Like I said, some of the beams have broken around them, but the support posts are actually in very good condition. And it's just a matter of me being able to get there and to repair it. It's just one that looks a little rough, and that's in the very end back corner. The other ones are all in good condition, but still need the beams around them replaced. And that's where we're at right now. And that's what we were doing the last time I was there. I was there for a whole week. I had to wait for a piece of equipment and it did not come in until, I think, Thursday morning. I went and got it. And that's why it took me 2 days. I would have been done all 4 of them. But again, I had to wait for this piece of equipment so I could lift up enough to be able to get these new posts in. The other ones, I'm expecting the same type of progress, but we've rented this piece of equipment, and it's still at the church now. I'm not going to take it out of there until we're done. So it's basically 2 or 3 months that is sitting there, and we're just paying for rent for it, because I don't want to fall into this trap again of getting there and then not being able to give me the equipment I need to rent. So again, it's just a little bit of patience, and we will definitely have it done. We don't need to get to this extreme, I don't think.
Any other comments from council? Go ahead, Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I've been listening quietly to all of the commentary, and there's some gaps that I think need to be filled in, and the gaps that I'm thinking about are the expectation gaps. So my recollection is that we went through a development agreement process with the owners. and spent considerable time and human capital in accommodating them, in creating the opportunity for them to see their vision come to fruition. And after that development agreement was ratified by council, I do not believe it was ever signed by the owners. I think that it was allowed to lapse. And today we are hearing that instead of following that development agreement vision, that their plans have changed. This is the first time that I was made aware of the change in the vision. And I don't know whether our planning department is aware of the change in the vision. But all of this suggests to me that the critical issue here is communication. And I feel as though council finds itself in this position because there has been a failure of the owners to communicate in reliable ways that can provide staff and those of us who are governing the assurance that we're not going to end up in a situation where where we're seeing a building fail or a person hurt or all of the other things that go along with concerns about an aging building that is not in good repair. So I have not heard any solutions to that critical problem, which I believe is about communication. And excuses at this point are not giving me comfort. I have heard, I have heard reasons for why expectations were not met, but I don't have any assurance that anything's going to change going forward in the future. And so I guess what I'm asking is, where are the assurances that council need in order to, or that staff need in order to change the trajectory that we're on at the moment?
Thank you.
Can I say something, please?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, as far as the agreement that we went through, I spoke quite a bit to Martin about this. We were kind of reluctant to sign the agreement because the timelines were so fast. But then he assured me that we can have the timelines moved, that the timelines didn't have to fit. So just to go ahead, sign the agreement, and then we would look into timelines afterwards. And so we did sign the agreement. We had it notarized. It was sent to council, but the day we sent it, the next day was actually the mail strike, and it got caught up in the mail. We did send Martin proof that we had sent it with receipts and things like that. So it definitely was signed, but and then we did get notification from Martin that the council decided that it wasn't signed in time, so they decided to nullify it. Yeah. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we are at with that. And
if I could just ask the solicitor to weigh in on that, because it's my understanding that we were not able to accept it because it was nullified by not meeting the conditions. But I'll let the solicitor speak to that if the solicitor is there.
Yes, he is. Go ahead.
Yeah, so on that point, the agreement said it had to be signed by a certain date, and it wasn't signed by that date, so it was a nullity. It would have had to go back through council. Doesn't account for, mail strikes or anything like that. There was a deadline in the agreement, and it wasn't signed by that date, so.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sign not received.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sign not received.
Steve Martin's here. There was a comment made about the development agreement earlier. Basically, there was some timelines and I guess the discussion between the two of you to sign it and we can work with it or whatnot.
Yes.
And just,
Yes,
give a proper-
I'm going to try to catch my breath.
You go right ahead.
And good afternoon, thanks for having me. I only caught my name, so I just ran down. And so what we did discuss was partially correct, what Pat just mentioned. The nuance in there that I think was unintentionally omitted is as follows. Their reluctance was obvious. We obviously worked for a year and a half on getting the DA in a place where it has all the components it does have. Obviously, timelines more or less meet expectation of council. And Pat just spoke about reluctance to sign it because the timelines were fairly aggressive for all the right reasons that you'd like to discuss this afternoon. And so my recommendation was, look, I feel, I'm not speaking on behalf of council, but given all the work that has gone into it, not following through by signing it may send the wrong signal to the community. And so if you're concerned about not able to meet the timelines, the process available to you as per the DA, specific sections, whether it's to do with getting permits in place or actually implementing the permits or actually implementing the intended use, there's always a process in place for you to ask for amendment. And the DA actually specified that should that be the desire of the landowner, they can always ask council for consideration of the date to be moved. And so that's what was discussed as a sort of a, look, rather than not following through and signing it, why don't you consider perhaps signing it and then asking council for some forgiveness on the respective timelines, whether it's issuance of permits or issuance or completion of the work or completion of the entire development. So I just wanted to fill that gap, and that's the only reason I sort of came down when I've heard that, is because I think it's important nuance and detail that you may appreciate. Because certainly the DA provided that flexibility, but now that has been deemed void because it wasn't signed, as solicitor just sort of mentioned, that is a moot point. But still, I think a valid sort of background relative to this file. That's all I had, unless there's any other questions.
Any other questions from Martin? Go ahead, Councillor Dares.
No question for Martin. Just another comment.
Yep, go ahead. Thank you, Martin.
So I'm going to refer back again to the engineering report dated 2023-02-14, so almost 3 years ago, stating that the posts should be fixed within 3 months and that the support posts were rotten and need to be replaced. I believe I heard earlier that the owners have indicated that they've invested some $400,000 into this property already. It would occur to me that if you had an order from if you had an engineering report completed indicating that it had to be repaired within 3 months, that would be your first priority. I know it would be for me. And my problem here, sitting here today, is I have absolutely no confidence in what's being said and no confidence in the fact that this building is going to be done in a proper fashion and in a timely fashion. And at the present location and at the present status, I consider it to be unsafe, and I believe that can be, it's declared unsafe because of the fact that the work that was ordered 3 years ago hasn't been done. And I can't imagine that those posts have not improved on their own. So it's a little bit frustrating to sit here and go through this again, knowing that work was ordered and it still hasn't been completed. And I know if I was living in that neighborhood, I'm frustrated enough, and I don't even live there. I'd be super frustrated if I lived in the area, and especially knowing that my children were walking to school past a building that could collapse.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Anything else from the owners?
I don't know, do you have anything to say? No. Nope, we just need patience and some time. That's all we're looking for, please.
So we have three choices.
Yeah, so I can.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so council has three options. Basically, you can confirm the decision of the building official. You can make any decision that the building official could have made. So that means you could change the order, i.e., the time period that was given in the order, 7 months, or you could also basically dismiss the order or vacate the order that was issued by Glenn. So there would be no order. So you can either affirm it, deny, then talking about Glenn's order, deny it, or vary it.
What are the wishes of council? Councillor Lesser.
I'd make a motion that we follow through with what Mr. Muse has indicated in his report.
Seconded by Councillor Dares. Any more discussion on that? So this would be to go through with the demolition as ordered. Ready for the question? All in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. So will there be follow-up with the owners?
Yeah. The order, well, I
Mike.
guess, I always forget that. Yeah, sorry, so the order, stands, so if there's any questions about the coordination of the demolition, they can speak to Glenn about it.
Okay. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Glenn and staff, for this one and discussion through council.
Can you hang up?
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.
Okay. Can you get them? Do they have to leave? Okay, good, good. Thank you, everyone. Okay, that was 9A. Okay, good, no worries. So 9C, number 2, Construction Battalion Monument Lighting. This come from our EDI committee. The monument that was put there to show respect to the number 2 battalion. We'd like some lights, just so it's seen at night, and safety issues and whatnot, and obviously to draw any attention we can to that important piece of history, if we could. Councillor Lesser?
I think what we had discussed at the meeting on Monday was to ask for it to be deferred to budget consideration, so.
Seconded by Councillor Dares. Any other discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Okay. 9D, recommended motion that council repeal the personnel management policy. So moved. Seconded by Councillor Lesser. I believe this is just housekeeping, basically. I think this is from 1990, I think I seen on that one. So basically just changing the wording and whatnot to update to CAO and other things there. Is there any discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. A recommended motion that council adopt the Chief Administration Officer policy. Moved. Seconded. All in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you. So we have a few committees here, I believe, that we're going to have to share up. I guess, should we have open discussion about who wants what? There's water utility here. There's the chair of the Lake George Watershed. There is Yasta and also Deer Management. So is there anyone who, usually the water utility and the chair of Lake George kind of go hand in hand? It's kind of a 2-for-1. Is there anyone who would like that? Would like to take that on? Anyone? Councillor Bell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I certainly would be prepared to act in an interim capacity on that committee if it would be of help.
Thank you. Would anyone else? So I think we're good for that. We can make those motions. What about the Yasta? I see Councillor Lesser's mic.
I was just going to say I can do that one. I would rather not do the deer management one, and that's kind of the only one left after that, so.
Okay.
But
So,
If you'd like to.
might I,
Okay.
can I say something, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Member.
I just want to, it's hard not to be there, the open discussion. So do we have times for these? Or am I not looking at like, is that one at 1 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon? I just want to make sure Councillor Lesser can, I know everybody has other commitments.
thank you for that, because, yeah, that would not allow me
Yeah.
to sit on that, so.
Yeah.
Anyone? Go ahead, Councillor Dares.
Yeah, I just want to point out that this
So
is
we
just
need-
a
Short term.
temporary, short-term recommendation anyway.
It is.
And it's something that I can very easily handle. In regards to the Deer
Oh
Management Working Group, I believe Councillor Lacroix is already on that committee, so I don't think it needs to have another person appointed. So do we deal with the ASTA one and that'd be it?
Okay, are we good with that? Does that work, Lynn? Yep. Did you want Yasta, Cal, or? You good? All good with that? Okay. So, a recommended motion that council appoint Councillor Bell Hatfield as the chair of the water utility and the interim chair of the Lake George Watershed Committee. Oh, yeah, go ahead, second
I
it.
just wanted to say if Councillor Bell wants help with those, I'm not a great chair, but if she wants help with the work part of it, we can certainly get together and I can help with whatever aspects you need on that.
For sure, and I've did that in the past as well, and willing to chip in there if needed too, so. No discussion there. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Recommended motion that council appoint Councillor Dares as an interim member of Yasta. Mover, yep, seconder. Second, thank you. No discussion there. All in favor?
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
don't, it's like he said, it's only for a month or two, but, so I can agree to that, but we have to I've just got numbers in front of me. We've got to get to balancing committees very soon.
Okay, discussion, I think maybe for a future meeting. I think we shuffle sometimes anyhow, don't we? Yeah, yeah. Anyhow, motion on the floor. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried.
Right.
And we're good on the dare management. Perfect. Thank you. 9F, a recommended motion that council direct staff to install a crosswalk on Main Street from hole 7 to hole 8 as recommended by staff. So moved, seconder. Second on that one, Councillor Lacroix. Any discussion there on that one? It's been a little bit coming, but I think our golfers will appreciate the safety that may provide.
If they use it.
That's right. Councillor Dares?
Yeah, I do think it'll be interesting to see how many use it when they're crossing from 6 to 7. And I don't think there'd be very much traffic on that end of the hole.
Any more discussion or comments there? Hearing none, all in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, 9G. Recommended motion that council approve the sale of the municipal property at 22 Chester Street, PID 902-05428, the Housing Commission Society for $1 for the purpose of developing a 4-unit, 4-plex affordable rental housing building, subject to the terms and conditions outlined in a purchase agreement prepared by staff and legal counsel. Can I have a motion for that, please? So moved. Seconder, second it. Any discussion there? Always great to see some housing come in our area. The more, the better. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you. I recommend a motion that council authorizes CAO and staff to execute all necessary documents, oversee the transaction, and monitor compliance with the purchase agreement, including timelines, affordability commitments, and development milestones. Mover?
So moved.
So moved. Second it. Discussion
I'll
there?
second that.
Thank you. Good. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you. Recommended motion that council direct staff to submit remaining surplus properties at 56 Tooker PID 902-11442 and 37 Argyle Street PID 902-12820 to the Provincial Surplus Lands Program for consideration for affordable housing initiatives. Can I have a motion for that, please? Motion, seconder. Motion is seconded. Any discussion there? Hearing none. All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. And a recommended motion that council receive future reports from staff regarding progress on the development at 22 Chester Street and any related affordable housing initiatives resulting from the Provincial Surplus Lands Program. Moved. Seconder, please.
Seconded.
Seconded. Any discussion there?
I
Go
just
ahead,
have a
Mayor Moon.
question.
Go ahead, Mayor
Oh,
Moon.
thank you. Timeline, can we put monthly or bi-monthly or whatever, just so that we know what's coming when it's coming? So we're not asking?
Can we add monthly to that?
Is that, I
good?
have to read that
Yep.
motion again?
You want me
During
to?
progress on development. I didn't see a timeline, and it seems like we're always, like we ask questions, so it's just easier, I think, on staff. You know, if they know every month, we just want updates on these pieces, but that's up to council, whatever you think. It's nice to have it in a report that this is the update.
So you'd like to change the motion to monthly reports?
Yeah, just to add the word, if everybody's okay with it.
What, they move good by the mover and seconder? Yep, good.
Okay.
All in favor, do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Ooh, good one. So, correspondence here, coldest night of the year. Anything to discuss about the Industrial Commission? A good report there, just kind of says where things are at, wharfs and whatnot. More for information, I believe. Anyone on those committees like to say anything, or we're good there? Go ahead, Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just an update that the Industrial Commission continues to engage with the Yarmouth Seaport body, which is in the process of transitioning authority for the port, for the 3 wharfs, to a body made up of independent stakeholders. That process is not complete, but we are making progress slowly, and we are hoping to perhaps see movement on that before the next fiscal year. So fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you. I noticed in the report, when it was divested, I think, from the federal government, it doesn't really seem to fit into, it's not quite small harbor, it's not quite this, so all the grants and things that seem to come down, we're in the middle of and not really eligible for. So as we know, the fishery is very important to our community and our region and our area, but when you're talking millions and billions to fix things and dredge things, money from the feds and other places is needed. So
Needed.
yeah, so
Very much so.
Yep.
Yes, we are something of an orphan wharf, but certainly stakeholders know the importance of it, and hopefully we'll be able to create the impetus to actionize some work so that it's sustainable.
Good. Thank you for your work
Yeah.
on that committee. Appreciate it. 9D, Municipal Recruitment and Retention Committee. I recommend a motion that council approve the merger of the Municipal Recruitment and Retention Committee with the Community Navigator Oversight Committee and the dissolution of the Municipal Recruitment and Retention Committee.
I'll make that motion. Second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion there? Hearing none, all in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. And a recommended motion that council appoint somebody as the town representative on the reconstituted Community Navigated Oversight Committee. So do we have someone that was on the other committee that follows through?
Is that
The
Councillor
mayor?
Bell?
Yeah, so,
It's not me.
yes.
Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, yes, I have been on the Municipal Recruitment Committee as a town representative since the election. And throughout that entire tenure, we have been grappling with what is our role and mandate. And this is the result of that work that we have been doing as a committee to try to rationalize, what our role is. So I am happy to continue in that role as an appointed member of the Community Navigator Committee. I already serve as a member through my participation on the Municipal Recruitment and Retention Committee. So I would be continuing in that role if council sees fit to nominate me.
Thank you. Councillor Lesser?
I was just going to say, if it fits in the timeline and she wants a break from that, I would be willing to do it as well, but I don't know what time it meets. But I'm also happy with Councillor Bell knowing the profile, or the work being done makes sense as well. But if you want help with it, or would like me to step in, and if it's after 3:30 or whatever, I can do that as well.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we get the transition finalized? And then when we go through committee reappointments, it may be that it's time for me to step aside, but I'll try to shepherd the process through if that's the wish of council.
Perfect. It's good with everybody? Good. So recommended motion to appoint Councillor Bell as a town representative on the reconstituted Community Navigator Oversight Committee. Good. All in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. And there is some correspondence from the airport there. Is that anything you'd like to speak to, Councillor Dares?
Yes, the correspondence, if you've had an opportunity to read it, is fairly straightforward and clear. Transport Canada has seen fit to eliminate the airport zoning regulations because Yarmouth Airport is no longer considered an airport. It was decertified. It's considered to be an aerodrome. However, we all know the importance of that facility in this area, and I think we can make a very strong case to Transport Canada to reinstate the regulations. The difficulty is that if those regulations are not to be followed, there could be structures, whether it be towers or buildings, that would be placed in the flight path that would eliminate any future use of that airport as an airport. We are at a place right now where we're actually, halfway through another study, which is being funded by ACOA and the province, to the feasibility study for the future of the airport. So it's kind of untimely for Transport Canada to do it this time. However, I think we could, as I say, I think we can make a very strong case, and the CEO has made a strong case in writing. I will caution that if, in fact, Transport Canada sticks to its original decision, that it may be a case of the two municipal units involved adopting zoning regulations that mirror those that Transport Canada is dismissing. And I think that's going to be a discussion for another day, but hopefully, they put us in the same category with two other airports in the Maritimes, that being Grand Manan Island and St. Leonard. And I believe St. Leonard Airport is owned by the Irving family. It's a private airport, so I can tell you that neither one of them is even close to being comparable to the facility that we have. So I'm hopeful that we will see a successful appeal.
Perfect. Thank you for that update. I think that's it. No additions. Do we have anything in camera today? Nothing in camera. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.